So, I'm here to talk about the FBS Bowls, and there's the cricket celebration, which is the SWAT champion against the SWAT champion. South Carolina Stevens won. They're playing in. Then there's the SWAT champion does it to where they have the East-Western divisions, and then to where the East champion plays the West champion, and they play off, and Purdue beat Jackson State. It was at Jackson State this year, and Purdue the SWAT championship game was, and it was hosted by Jackson. So we have all the bowls here for so we have Boise State taking on, that's at noon Eastern on ABC at Eastern in the locked up LA Bowl. They have some bowls a couple weeks after season ends, play early. Some end up playing like later in the year. And a lot of these bowls, so they're college football playoff bowls or teams, they have time to accept their invites. 2 bowls, college bowl games, these schools are playing, the schools like accept the first bowl they get into, or do they shop around for bowls, which play team is going to be better, suited towards this bowl, or draw the most, who knows, or best matchups, who knows, it depends on wherever bowl tie-in, like this bowl has a tie-in to, who's like on, like, who runs, this bowl. I know there's different who run the bowls, or if it's like ESPN events bowls, because some of the bowls, I'm pretty sure almost are tied to ESPN events with so many teams, And I know 3 teams opted out. Kansas State, Iowa State did, because they have coaching changes coming up. And then Notre Dame opted out because they felt like playing in a non-cultural playoff bowl game. Their non-cultural playoff game is kind of worthless, they feel like. So, now you have that IS for us. So, the Veterans Bowl. Troy and Jackson State Conference Championship game. Losers. Troy lost their conference championship game to James Madison, while Jacksonville State lost theirs to Kennesaw State. And then you have Old Dominion in South Florida. That's Sunbelt and American. The Staff DNA Gator Bowl. Staff DNA is the sponsor of it. The LA Bowl, it's called the LA Bowl because that's SoFi Stadium. We see is out West Gym. And Lincoln's Washington, a Big Ten at large. Yeah. Troy and Jacksonville, not at large, just Big Ten. So just write this about losers, choose to come to say loser. And then I guess it's, and then Louisiana Delaware. Is this about Delaware is the Conference USA now. The first year in FBS. They would only admit them and Missouri State will get in if there was teams opted out, either opt-outs or there was not enough 6-6 teams or above them. Teams were not ineligible, and they were the last. There's 2 more teams not enough teams, so they end up becoming the last 2 teams at 6. With 6-6 or 500 above records. And then we have Louisiana Delaware and 60 Adventures Bowl. Some of these are sponsored by like just sponsored bowls, like 60 Adventures. Still sponsored Communion Bowl. That's at 8:30 Eastern ESPN. Most of these are on ESPN or during the week, and then on the weekends, like Saturday night, like Saturday during the day, a whole day. You have bowl games during the college football slate. That would be on ESPN or ABC. They have bowl games. And well, it's ESPN, they doubled up. They have one in ESPN, one in ABC, and then on like ESPN 2 they'll have like FCS playoffs where they have like, you know, or Division 2 championship. Typically, I know like that's or that or consequential playoffs don't matter. Yeah. 9 Eastern, ESPN 2. On the 18th, we have Missouri State and Arkansas State. Missouri State Conference USA, Arkansas State, the Sun Belt. And that Xbox Bowl, that overlaps. That is on ESPN 2. And that is at 9 Eastern. In that bowl game. And this bowl game is replaces the Bahamas Bowl. It does replace the Bahamas Bowl. It was like 8-4, 9-3 type teams, like that were not like the then like the group of five in group of five conferences, like Conference USA, Sunbelt, Mountain West, American, Sunbelt, American, Mountain West, Conference USA, and MAC. Those type of teams. Those would be like types of teams that would make it to the Bahamas Bowl. Group of five teams, and then and like 8-9 win group of five teams. But then the Xbox Bowl replaced the Bahamas Bowl because Bahamas was in the Bahamas. It was played in like it was always an ESPN 2 Bowl. I remember that was like always like an early it was always like an early like Saturday afternoon or late Saturday morning, early Saturday afternoon type bowl. It was always like on ESPN 2, like really late in the morning. That time it was like always like I think it was like 11 a.m. Eastern actually. Either 11 a.m. or like 10 a.m. Eastern time. It was like pretty early though. It was like ESPN 2 boys. And yeah. And then you had Missouri State Arkansas. So I'm surprised what's on there. It might be like college, like it might be NHL coverage. Could be. And then Kansas State, Western Michigan. Kansas State is Western Michigan is the MAC champion. Kansas State is Kansas State, I'm pretty sure. I know they're the Conference USA champ. Yeah, Western Michigan is the MAC champion. And that's at 11 Eastern ESPN. 2:30 on ESPN is Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla. It is Memphis, America, NC State, BCC. Then Alabama, Oklahoma, which will play a first game. Alabama is the 9, Oklahoma is the 8 seed. On ABC, ESPN, the first two first-round games are on ABC and ESPN simulcast. Number 10, Miami. ABC is the main feed. ESPN, has an alternate feed, along with some. I don't know if every channel on ESPN on the networks does, but like they have some alternate feeds, and like especially the SCAC more so. They have their alternate feeds, maybe a few on ABC or ESPN 2. ESPN, has one. But then ESPN 2, ESPN U might not. ESPN News might not. Not as often as you get into like the quarterfinals or the national championships. Later on. Then you have Miami and Texas A&M and New Eastern ABC ESPN. And then the number 11 seed Tulane, which is the highest ranked coverage champion. Alabama and Oklahoma are SEC schools. Then Miami is the ACC school, Texas A&M is the SEC school. Tulane is the American champion. 5 highest ranked coverage champions, regardless of what conference they come. Since Duke won the ACC, but Tulane gave Tulane and James Madison 2 group 5 teams, and Tulane the American. And Ole Miss the SEC and at large. That's at 3-3 Eastern TNT. TNT has 2 first-round games. They bought the rights to them. They subleased them, and they wanted to ESPN did to make some extra money. And TNT bought the rights to both of them. And they bought the rights to a couple quarterfinals upcoming for a couple seasons after that, and as well as the first-round games. Not Not right away did they buy the rights. The first one they want to get some money and about this deal, some sport, and later on they'll fund the money, Then number 5, 12 James Madison, the Sun Budget meeting against Overflow Award. Big Ten at large. We have Washington State Pac-12. Remember who's going to be able to rebuild Pacific Conference, like the Pac-8 now, or I think it's like Pac-8 for football. Pac-9 it's going to be for like basketball, so it might be the Pacific Conference, or basically the Pacific Coast Conference or Pacific Conference. They're playing 6-6 Washington State. That was all there. The Washington Utah State and South Mountain West. And the famous Idaho Potato about 2 Eastern and ESPN. They have bowls on Monday. Usually don't have college football on Mondays, but they have it early in the day because it doesn't overlap ESPN's coverage of NFL, like the pregame show, But either way, NFL pregame. And then Toledo and legal on the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl. That's on the 23rd of December at 2 Eastern on ESPN. Then Western Kentucky and Sunrise, and it runs about 5:30 Eastern on ESPN. We in Ohio. And Scores Coffee Festival at 9 Eastern, 8 ESPN. Then on New Year, on Christmas Eve, there's a bowl, the Hawaii Bowl, Sheraton. This year's sponsored by Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. California, LACC. Hawaii of the Mountain West. They're in the Mountain West in football. They're in the Big West and that's all those sports. But they're moving to Mountain West in 2026-27 academic year with their football, We correspond with their football. And then we have the Mountain West, Ohio of the MAC, Western Kentucky of the Conference USA, Sunrise of the Sun Belt, and 2 of the MAC. Well, of the ACC. Then in the game of sports, both Central Michigan back at 7-5, Northwestern of the Big Ten at 6-6. They're playing game of sports ball 1 Eastern ESPN, 4:30 Eastern ESPN. Mexico of the Mountain West at 9-3, Minnesota at 7-5 of the Big Ten. And then FAU at 7-5 of Conference USA. Or are they in the FAU is in Conference USA, I believe. Yeah. Yep, FAU is in Conference USA, 7-5, UTC 6-6 in the American, the Serpro first December Eastern, Pitt, 27th, 30 December 27th, Pittsburgh is aim for the ACC, East Carolina is aim for the American, that's 11 Eastern ESPN, the Global England Circle, Bad Boy Waters Penn Circle, Penn State 6-6, so the Big Ten, they limped into a bowl after their star quarterback got hurt, Drew Allen got hurt. So then they had their backup in, and they fired James Franklin, but they limped to a bowl game of 6-6, and then they played Clemson at 7-5 of the ACC at noon Eastern ABC. The Memorial Pincer Bowl, that's always from Yankee Stadium, and the Wasabi Fenway Bowl from Fenway Park in Boston. UConn 9-3, they're an independent school. Army always plays in the Army game. And so the Navy and Army and Navy animals, they have to have 6 wins before they play each other. So they have to be 6-5 or above. And Army is, so Army gets in a bowl game at 2:50 Eastern ESPN against Independent UConn. They're American for football, but they are American for football, but they're in the Patriot League normally. So UConn's in the Big East normally. They're FBS independent. The number 22 Georgia Tech. And 9, they used to be in the American, but then they switched to independent. Number 22 Georgia Tech of the ACC. And number 12 BYU. That's their ranking. Prior to the end of the season, BYU got snubbed. So did but that's because BYU got snubbed, and so did Notre Dame, because when James Madison got in, because Duke won. And then been 5 highest ranked conference champions, so Virginia Evans, Virginia West also. And the conference, having the conference champion, the Met qualifying hurts like some of those at-large teams. But it's a way for the conference champions to be awarded, and for the group of 5 to always be included in it by having at least one odd Met bid. Miami and Ohio and Fresno State, the first non-ESPN bowl. That's at 4-3 CW Network. There used to be a bowl on like CBS Sport. There used to always be one bowl on, CBS, one bowl on the CBS Sports Network, one on main CBS, and there was one on the CBS Sports Network cable channel, and then there was always one on Fox Sports, like main Fox. And there was always one on Fox Sports 1, every channel that college football was on. Other than main, they had that, and they had games on like BEIN Sports, but I think they dropped that. They did. And they had regular season only, and then CW Network having a bowl game, and it was the Barstool Sports Bowl. And then Barstool Sports Arizona, they sponsored it, and they had like the officer from Barstool Sports commentating on the game. It was kind of like a flop. Well, now this year they always have Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, which is like Snoop Dogg in that. I don't sing with the on their game call. I don't mind it. It's a little cheesy, but it's not bad. 4th Eastern Conference Championship loser. Fresno State out of the Big West. Then in the Atlanta, New Mexico at 5:45 Eastern ESPN. Number 2 for Texas, the American Conference Championship loser. And CSC out of the Mountain West. 5:45 Eastern, that's going. Number 19 Virginia at 7:30 Eastern ABC. Texas Gator Bowl. Virginia ACC Conference Championship loser. Missouri out of the SEC. LSU in the Kansas Texas Bowl, they're out of the SEC. Number 20 Houston is out of the Big 12. And 8th and 5th Eastern ESPN. And then at 2 Eastern on ESPN. There was a bunch of at-large teams that declined, or 5 and 7, to play. And they go in order of 5 and 7 teams. If there's teams that are 5 and 7, they get in because teams opted out, or or for whatever reason. They go in order of academic progress rate, like high at best 5 and 7 teams based on like overall academic scores, like academic score rating. And there's a bunch of them teams that declined to play 5 and 7 teams that declined to play Georgia Southern, but Appalachian State decided to play them. They're both conference members. Jerusalem and Appalachian State did play in the conference season, but Appalachian State's like, well, we'll play them again. We don't mind, in the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl. That's 2 Eastern ESPN before Monday Night Football pregame. And then sometimes they were at 2:30 now. This one's at 2 Eastern now. Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech. And Rain St. Mary's and Huntsville, Coastal Carolina out of the Sun Belt. Louisiana Tech out of the Discovery State at 2 Eastern. Tennessee out of the SEC. Illinois out of the Big Ten, 5:30 Eastern ESPN. And the Racing Mutual Music Bowl. And the Racing USC and TCU in the Real Rumble Bowl. The Racing USC is out of the Big Ten. TCU is out of the Big 12. And then number 23 out of the Big 10. 84. Number 14 out of 10 of the SEC and New Eastern. And then there's the one CBS Bowl, the Tony Tiger Sun Bowl. There's no seed at 84 out of the Big 12 to 85, the ACC Conference Championship winner. And then 3 Eastern, number 18 Michigan out of the Big 10. Number 18 Texas and the G's Citrus Bowl of the SEC and ABC at 3 Eastern on New Year's Eve. And then they have Nebraska number 15, and number 15 Utah. Yes, there's distribution of Las Vegas Bowl. Nebraska Big 10. Number 15 Utah is at 3-3 Eastern. No, it's at 3-3 Eastern. And number 15 Utah is out of the Big 12. Then we have number 2 Ohio State in seed, they advanced to the college quarterfinal of the Junior Cotton Bowl Classic at Century City, Spain. At New Eastern, Capital and Orange Bowl quarterfinal. Number 4 Texas Tech gets the bye to that. Number 1 Indiana gets the bye as the run seed in the Big Ten. The Big Ten the winner would be number 1, the loser would be number 2 in the college football playoff. And Indiana makes it to Big Ten coverage champion. 13, they make it to 4 p.m. game at the Rose Bowl game. And then the All-State Sugar Bowl at Eastern. Number 3 Georgia plays that one. And then we have Rice at 5-7. Our team got in because of one dropout. And maybe other teams declining to play in 5. It's the team declining to play bowls. Rice at 1 Eastern will take on Texas the American. Taking Texas State out of Sun Belt. 6-6 and Lucky Maryland first ball 1 Eastern. 4th Eastern Navy out of the American. And they're in the Patriot League for all their sports. Navy in the besides football and American, and they're taking Cincinnati out of the Big 12 at 7-5 in the Arizona Regal. Then on the Fox Bowl game, the one bowl game Fox gets the Holiday Bowl. It was sponsored by DirecTV for a while. Then they dropped out. Now for Trust and Will sponsors it, where it's like a company that has like they do like trusts and like wills for families, and legally binding trusts and wills you can create or they create with someone. You can have the service. University of Arizona 9-3 out of Big 12. SMU of the ACC 4 on Fox Eastern. Eastern is Wake Forest taking Mississippi State and Duke's Mail. Wake Forest of the ACC 4. Mississippi State's 5-7 of the SEC at Eastern. And then the cultural playoff semifinal, the Rural Festival, Thursday, June 8th at Central Eastern. Friday, June 9th at Central Eastern. Cultural playoff semifinal, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And then Monday, January 19th, cultural playoff national championship game, presented by AT&T. Monday, January 19th.